Tawheed, Quran, Hadith, Fiqh, Science of Hadith, Usul al-Fiqh, Nahu, Sarf, Balagha, Nusus, Adab, and many more. Students are entitled to 6 hours of live classes a week, and 10 students are to be placed.
Mīrathul Ummah Online Institute of Arabic and Islamic Sciences. Admission. Their institute is a certified online Arabic and Islamic science school designed to train interested candidates through Ibtidaiya, Idadiyya and Thanawiyya levels of Islamic civilization, consideration of sound creed and Islamic morals and teachings, and finally conducive learning method. The institute is structured to meet up with the challenges of the 21st century in learning Islamic civilization. The flexibility of the curriculum, the accuracy and suitability of the syllabus with the sunnah of the beloved Prophet. Ibtidaiya 12 months, Idadiyya 24 months, and Thanawiyya of 24 months are our programs. For further inquiries, contact the following.
المكرمة في أسرة معظمة هو بن عبد الله القرشي ذي الجاه جلده
Mīrathul Ummah Online Institute of Arabic and Islamic Sciences. Admission. Their institute is a certified online Arabic and Islamic science school designed to train interested candidates through Ibtidaiya, Idadiyya and Thanawiyya levels of Islamic civilization, consideration of sound creed and Islamic morals and teachings, and finally conducive learning method. The institute is structured to meet up with the challenges of the 21st century in learning Islamic civilization. The flexibility of the curriculum, the accuracy and suitability of the syllabus with the sunnah of the beloved Prophet. Ibtidaiya 12 months, Idadiyya 24 months, and Thanawiyya of 24 months are our programs. For further inquiries, contact the following.
المكرمة في أسرة معظمة هو بن عبد الله القرشي ذي الجاه جلده رباك ربك جل من رباك.
Mīrathul Ummah Online Academy is a new online madrasa aiming to bring full-fledged O-level education in Arabic and Islamic sciences to the doorsteps of all Muslims across the globe. The school is registered and aims to run 3 academic programs. 1. 15-month Ibtidai program. Key subjects to be offered are Qira'ah, Kitaba, Arabiyya, Quran, Adhkar, and Islamic morals. 2. 30-month Idadi program. Subjects to be offered are Tawheed, Quran, Hadith, Fiqh, Nahu, Sarf, Nusus, Arabiyya, Mahfudha, Islamic morals, and many more. 3. 30-month Thanawi program. Subjects to be offered are Tawheed, Quran, Hadith, Fiqh, Science of Hadith, Usul al-Fiqh, Nahu, Sarf, Balagha, Nusus, Adab, and many more. Students are entitled to 6 hours of live classes a week, and 10 students are to be placed in each class. The Academy is holding a free webinar on the 22nd and 23rd of January 2022. All required details are displayed on the screen now. For further inquiries, please contact +234 8108 730904 or +234 7037 876663 or +447 7601 8244 or +234 7031 491 122. Thank you. Jazakumullahu khairan.
عنك وربنا سبحانه بعيونه يرعاك بدر تحدي
Bismillah, wassalam ala Rasulullah. Give thanks to Allah for making the first day of our day. We welcome everybody to the program. We welcome everybody to the webinar and the theme webinar. So, without wasting our time, I would like to introduce. I would like to introduce all our guests, starting from the first guest, starting from the panelists, who's also, we'd like to introduce the presence of our director, the person of Dr. Yahya Abdul Baki. Also, the principal of Dr. Yahya Abdul Baki. Also, the principal of and listening to the and the topic, which is globalization of Arabic language program. I made webinar. I made webinar. This ASP program is specifically created to bridge the community caused by whereby outside, specifically people living or working in as a result of this, there is need for specific purposes. This program is created specifically to to bridge the communication gaps caused by the globalization of the world in this century, whereby people now live and work outside their countries. As a result of this, especially those who are living in Arab-speaking countries, as a result of this, there is need for a program that help people to gain some proficiency in Arabic in order to aid their communication and professions. That's why we are bringing this seminar to you today. So before starting the program proper, we would like to listen to the speech of director, the founder of the academy, the person of Dr. Yahya Abdul Abdul.
Thank you for having me. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. We are very sorry for this technical issue that we are having at the beginning. We hope our IT team will quickly attend to this before we take our guest speaker, please. Distinguished guest speaker, our able Professor Ibrahim Tawfiq Ibrahim.
Assalamu alaikum.
Our panelists for today's webinar, members of the management of this institution, staff and students of the academy, participants. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We are happy to have all of you joining us today at this webinar. We appreciate your presence. We hope Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward your participation.
Amen.
So, in the early season of this year, precisely the month of February, we obtained at the Mīrathul Ummah, the Corporate Affairs Commission at the Ministry of Kwara State Ministry of Education granted approval for this institute to operate fully in training potential candidates in learning of Arabic language and Islamic sciences. The institute commenced the operation with 60 students in three different programs: Ibtidaiya, Idadiya, and Thanawiya. Shortly after the commencement, the institute realized the importance of Quranic education. So, we are happy to tell you today that the institute has introduced a Tafiz program. Today, another great day is going to be set in the history of this academy. Today, we are planning to introduce another program to our audience and our lovers around the world, the lovers of Arabic language. We are introducing a program with the title Arabic for Specific Purposes. In doing this, we deem it fit to have this free webinar section, and we are happy that today we are going to listen to one of the icons in the education sector, a a professor of community medicine and a former vice chancellor, who is going to take us through the importance of Arabic language in the globalization, the challenges and the perspectives. Thank you, sir, for joining us. And after the speaker, we are also going to listen to our panelists who is going to attend to some of the questions that our audience are going to put forward. We thank you, sir, sincerely for joining us today. We thank all of our audience for joining us, and we hope at the end of this webinar, you have every reason to take the interest in learning Arabic language, maybe with Mīrathul Ummah or other institutes that offer same program. Thank you very much. Jazakumullahu khairan.
Ameen. Wa iyaakum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam.
Now, that has been the director speech from noble director of this academy, the person of Dr. Yahya Abdul Baqi. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve him upon the earth. That has been the wonderful speech. The director of this academy, Dr. Yahya Abdul Baqi. May Allah preserve him upon righteousness. Before we proceed to listening to the lecture from our lecturer, we would like to read the citations of the lecturer so that we get more familiar with the lecturer, we know him more, so that we know how great the information will be passing to us is. The guest speaker for today, Professor Taufik Ibrahim, MBBS, FWACP, is a former vice chancellor of a university. At present, is in the Department of Medicine, Community Medicine, Usman Danfodi University, and Teaching Hospital, Sokoto, Nigeria. So that's the guest lecturer we have for today. Inshallah, we shall benefit very much from him. We beseech Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for him. And may he also make it beneficial to us and the entire Ummah. Thank you, sir, as you start the lecture. Barakallahu fikum.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be with you at this moment.
It's a pleasure to have you, sir. Please, the audience, we are sorry for that. It might have been some disconnection from the side of the presenter. So please bear with us. The connection is somewhat weak from his side. Please, let's exercise some patience for him. Welcome, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. You're welcome, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, like I was saying, I actually appreciate the Mīrathul Ummah Academy for inviting me to this presentation. And I supposedly, I'm not going to take much of your time. I'm going to be a lot brief in this presentation. I'm not too sure if my paper has been presented, has been shared with the audience. I want to start on the unique and special features of Arabic as a language. Arabic language, to its listeners, will be noted to have certain special features. The rhymeness, the eloquence, the sweetness, the pragmatism, and its grand style of command of language inform listeners of its prime place among languages of the world. There is no doubt that when any listener listens to Arabic language, you will see the audacity, the precision, and its eloquence as a language, which usually is very sweet into the ears. Arabic as a language, according to the World Atlas website, is a primary language that is spoken largely in Asia, Middle East, and North Africa. And of the total world population, approximately 420 million people speak Arabic. And that make Arabic language the 5th most popular language in the world. It is the 5th most popular language in the world. If you can see my presentation, you can see on the atlas, the world atlas, on the world map, the countries that are where Arabic language is mostly spoken. Across Mauritania, Morocco, Algeria, Libya, Tunisia, Egypt, Sudan, Saudi Arabia, Syria, Iraq, Yemen, Oman, Somalia, and several others. And on the list that you can see here, which is showing the number of the population that speaks Arabic around the world, over 82 million, there are over 82 million speakers of Arabic in Egypt, over 40 million in Algeria, over 28 million in Sudan, and over 27 million in Saudi Arabia, over 25 million in Morocco. While we have the language spoken in other countries such as Iraq, Syria, Yemen, Tunisia, Jordan, Libya, Lebanon, Somalia, the United Arab Emirates, Mauritania, Oman, Israel, Kuwait, Chad, Palestine, Qatar, Bahrain, Eritrea, and Djibouti. Now, it is interesting to note, and this is one of the very essence of the importance of Arabic as a language, not arranged in a particular order of importance, as you see on my presentation, but Arabic is one of the 6 official languages of the United Nations. Apart from Arabic, other languages that made it to be the official languages of the United Nations include Chinese, English, French, Russian, and Spanish. According to the United Nations, the correct interpretation and translation of these languages in both spoken and written form is very important to the work of the organization, because that enables clear and concise communication on issues of global importance. I have a reference there for you. Now, quickly, what do we see in my knowledge and perception as the challenges of Arabic as a language for communication? It is, I see it, the challenges I see actually is about the perception and misconception by the people of the language, their perception of the language as a religion. For most people across the world who are not Muslims, they see Arabic as a religion. And I rightly see this as a misconception. Arabic as a language precedes, so to say, if I am correct, the religion as brought by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Before the raising of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu as a prophet, Arabic has been in existence. And even one would say that since the Arab people exist even before the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, who we can say as the forebearer of Islam, in that sense, we could say that Arabic as a language predates Islam in that perspective. Now, the other perspective, which I see as the perception of the people and a misconception, is the fact that Arabic is a difficult language to understand. This actually is not so, because one has seen a lot of non-Muslims and non-Arabs who are very eloquent, very proficient in the speaking of Arabic language. People from across different geographical areas of the world. So I think it's a problem of mindset for those that find Arabic to be difficult. It's a mindset. That is my perception. and perhaps the contribution of the perception of Arabic as a religion. Beyond this, therefore, what do we see as the prospects of Arabic as a language? What are the prospects? We should encourage a large population of people across the world, beyond the Arab world and beyond the Muslim world, to have interest, to develop keen interest in Arabic as a language. This is the fact that the entire world is a global, the global space is actually a village setting by way of the way travels, fastness of travels by aircraft, the fastness of travel in the digital media today, that within seconds we can see the remotest areas of the world. This has actually made it possible that interaction, it has facilitated interaction among people across cultures, across religions, across geographical space. And in that context, what exactly are the opportunities in Arabic as a language? One is the issue of employment. For example, I had the opportunity of working in the United Nations at the World Health Organization. And I'm privileged, therefore, I've had that exposure to understand that when you are bilingual or multilingual, you have greater chances of employment with the various arms of the United Nations, be it the World Health Organization, be it UNICEF, be it the UNFPA, for instance, and UNESCO, and other arms, Food and Agricultural Organization, and other arms of the United Nations. They are always looking for, in their engagement of professionals, there is always an edge, it's an added advantage, and they are always looking for this opportunity of applicants who are very conversant, who are bilingual or they are multilingual, particularly across their official languages of Arabic, of Chinese, of English, French, Russian, and Spanish. So this is of immense economic importance for people who can speak Arabic. Apart from employment, commerce, the world of business today, has transcended beyond cultures, religion, and geographical space, all across the world. So when you want to trade with people who primarily are not of the same language with you, there is no doubt that if you are multilingual in nature and among the most popular languages of the world, your opportunities of exploration of the business world is a lot higher. So the world of business, trading by way of selling and buying, and also technological penetration. If you have any product of technological importance, then it can be easily facilitated across the world when you have the speaking or working language of the most popular languages across the world, of which Arabic is one of them. And finally, a good prospect that I see is the fact that people always want to coexist peacefully. They want to coexist harmoniously. People want to, we need to be friends. We need to be friends and make friendship across the world. So, and there's no doubt that it's a common occurrence that if you are able to speak the language of the people, the commonal languages, the language that people share most commonly around the world, then you'll be easily and better accepted in various communities. So I think in my experience and knowledge, I'm in position to say that we all need to see how to log on to be able to speak the Arabic language as a global language of the moment. And for globalized people and in the global communities, Arabic is one language that has a prime of place. I think on this note, that having been able to expatiate on the importance of Arabic as a language for the purposes of employment, for the purposes of commercialization in the world of business, interaction in the world markets, and the networking and social life among people, we will have been able to appreciate the importance of Arabic as a language. On this note, this is where I will drop the mic this evening on the very importance of Arabic as a language and in the global community. And I want to appeal to all across the world to appreciate Mīrathul Ummah Academy for its efforts of bringing this to the fore across the world for people to actually take advantage of their program on how to improve their understanding, their proficiency of the Arabic language. I want to thank you very much for inviting me to this occasion. May Allah reward you abundantly. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That's been a wonderful presentation by our lecturer. You see, in very few minutes, he has been able to give us something very, very rich and great. In fact, it is filled up of benefits. So, in a nutshell, our presenter has made it known to us that no. So, our presenter has made it known to us that Arabic language is widely spoken across the world. Also, he made it known to us that it is one of the official languages of the United Nations, which is a great position in the world as far as the global perspective is concerned. Within the few minutes, he has also taken us through the challenges facing the Arabic language, and he made it known to us that there are certain misconceptions as regards the Arabic language. As some people do think that Arabic language is just a religion, a language of religion. It has to do with Islam and nothing else, whereas that's not the case. He made it known to us that Arabic language has been in existence even before the advent of Islam. Of Islam in the Arabic countries. Likewise, he made it known to us that Arabic language will give us many opportunities, ranging from employment opportunities and effective communication across the globe, because as a result of the globalization, people from across the world come together and they relate. As a result of this, there will be need for proper communication among themselves. So to this end, we appreciate our presenter for the wonderful presentation. We hope that when next we hope to have him with us like this, we still have the opportunity. We beseech Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward him abundantly for this wonderful presentation he has given us. The next thing now is to go to the panelists who will be helping us attend to some questions that will be popping up in our minds as a result of the presentation we just listened to now. Because looking at the presentation given by our presenter here, we'll see that people will have some questions as regards the Arabic language. As a result of this, we have set up a panel made up of two panelists. The first of them is Dr. Mrs. Medina Bola Sulaiman, and the second is Engineer Junaid Fowora. These two panelists will be helping us to attend to some questions and some inquiries from the audience. Our presenter, we say Barakallahu Fikum and Jazakumullahu Khairan.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ma'asalam. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. We are happy to have you. Barakallahu Fikum. So now moving to the panelists. Dr. Mrs. Medina Bola Sulaiman, we hope that you are with us, ma.
Yes, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very
wa
much.
alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're welcome. You're welcome, sir. Amin wa iyakum. Likewise, Engineer Junaid. I think
yes, I'm with you.
the voice
Assalamu
I just
alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay. Wa alaikum salam. You're welcome, sir. We're happy to have you both with us. Barakallahu fikum wa
Thank you
jazakumullahu
for having
khairan.
me. Amin wa antum.
So before we start accepting questions from the audience, we would like to read the citations of the two panelists so that we know those who are handling the questions for us. The first of them is Dr. Mrs. Bola Medina Sulaiman. She is a specialist and obstetrics and gynecologist. Likewise, multi-skilled with 40 years of experience in the medical and non-medical fields and 40 years of experience in Saudi Arabia and Sudan. With this brief introduction, we hope that we know the kind of person addressing us and helping us tackle the questions. So she is an experienced person. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to bless her. The second person is Engineer Powora. He is a lead mechanical engineer in the Middle East, Sharjah, United Arab Emirates, since 2013. So he has been there since 2013. You know how much experience that will be. He has 22 years of experience in the UAE. So he'll be helping us attend to some questions from the audience. Thank you as you listen.
Thank you for having us, sir.
We are waiting questions from our audience.
While we await questions, if there are, from the audience, may I quickly say a few words?
No problem, sir. You're welcome.
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum
To
salam.
everyone. First, I'd like to say Jazakumullah khairan to Mīrathul Ummah for this beautiful project. I see it as a project. It's a worthwhile project, and it's setting the pace to kind of come to the aid of professionals who are definitely, surely, from experience, in need of, what you have to offer regarding helping professionals to be able to bridge gaps and, improve their communication, especially professionally and otherwise, in their local communities, for whoever is intending to move to the GCC or Arab-speaking countries, or whoever, is already doing it. So there are no doubts this is a very great service, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless Mīrathul Ummah and accept this as a sincere, service in this cause. I mean, so, and lastly, in case there are any questions before then, I'd like to say that it's a win-win case for everybody, especially professionals, because alhamdulillah, if you understand Arabic, you learn it, it will better your deen. And you can imagine, the sweetness that you get from it, and your benefits, because directly you can read the book of Allah and it speaks back to you. And you can equally, access many texts, Islamic text, classical works, the rich ones that Allah has blessed us with in Islam. So it's a win-win case. And if you understand and move ahead to learn Arabic, to better your chances
in the, professional world, it's equally very good because, of course, nothing stops anyone from earning halal means of livelihood as well as improving on it. So I assure you, from the little experience I have, it is a very key wealth to possess if you're able to break barriers and communicate, especially in Arabic. Whichever community you belong or you find yourself, to be able to speak in the local language, brings you in as, for people to accept you as being a member of the community or a larger family, Muslims and non-Muslims alike. So this is a great opportunity, and I want to urge everyone to rush and take the advantage of this opportunity. Barakallah fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Good evening to everyone. A great privilege given to me to attend this webinar today. In support of my engineer, Junaid, I would like to say something about Arabic language as well, whereby we have heard a lot from Professor Ibrahim Tawfiq Ibrahim. May Allah be with him and reward him abundantly. Precisely, what we are being called today and what we are joining today, globalization of Arabic language, is a very important thing to particularly Muslims. Please, are you hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. To Muslim particularly, yes, it's been heard. And as we have heard as well that even non-Muslims are speaking Arabic fluently, then why not we Muslims? To have it short as well, I'm very, very sure about what I want to say about being a professional around the middle belt. For example, when you are very fluent in speaking Arabic language and you are working around the Middle East, it's going to give us, so just as we have been said, that it's going to give you a social exposure because you are going to communicate better with your patients, with your customers, and all these, and this is going to give a great chance around, because I particularly have such experience. Sometimes you may have some of the doctors around whereby they cannot speak Arabic fluently, giving them some other nurses or somebody who can translate the language to them to give them translation between them and the patient, and which practically is not okay. Sometimes there may be misconception between the information given to you, between you and your patient, and this is very dangerous in the practice. So I would rather appeal to my colleagues, either junior or seniors, who are yet to be able to control this language, to please seek at least little time to be able to do that. And just as the engineer Junaid said, that it's going to give us the better exposure to Quran and Kareem, because this is the language of Almighty Allah, Anzala biha al-Quran, and it is the language I know that everybody knows that we're going to speak, even in the grave and in the judgment day, and even in the paradise. So it is a great thing for us Muslims to know that this language is for us. So may Almighty Allah be with us. And again, in addition to that, as a mother, I know this is very, 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 very important for any working mothers, even those that are not professionally in the field. They can still benefit from training their children, because when you train these children from the childhood age to expose them that this language is very important, I think they are going to become adults who are going to be in the control of this language. I hope with what Mīrathul Ummah is giving us, may Almighty Allah be with this academy. From the head, which is the director of the academy, Dr. Yahya Abdul-Baki, may Almighty Allah prolong his life in the service of Islam. I hope they are doing well, and being one of their students, I want to appeal all this around me to please give just some talking time to study Arabic language in Mīrathul Ummah. And thank you very much. Jazakumullahu khairan.
Having known this, a lot of people will have the interest in learning the Arabic language, but most of them might have been adults. It might be somewhat difficult for them to learn Arabic. How easy it is? That's the question.
Bismillah ar-Rahman
So
ar-Rahim.
thank you, sir.
Okay. Go ahead, please.
As I said, according to the presentation of the guest speaker, he made it known to us that Arabic language is very essential, regardless of our religion. So it will be useful to our professions and the likes. But as an adult, now interested in learning the Arabic language, how easy is it for an adult to learn it? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam ala Rasulillah. Actually, from experience, as an adult who is also a student learning this language, under Mīrathul Ummah and maybe before Mīrath, under other institutions as well. The problem that's usually, I experience is when a student or when someone sees himself, that he may not be able to learn it. As said by the prof, and from experience, it is very easy to learn any language, especially Arabic. But the problem is people learn and don't speak it. If you are learning a language, the best approach is to learn, the rules, the principles, and then, put them into practice almost immediately, apart from the exercises you have in the classes. So, for example, here in the GCC, from little experience, you find that if you are the type who mingle with people, either as clients, as customers, as subordinates, as neighbors, as friends, anywhere, any situation you may find yourself, you try to interact with them and practice whatever you are learning, okay, and speak the same language, all the theories you are learning, you put them into practice. But there has to be time devotion for learning the theories as well as connecting the theories to practical speaking. So when you speak, then it becomes so easy. Recently here in our neighborhood, we have just a young chap who plays around in the neighborhood with his friends, and from there he's able to learn the local dialect of the Emiratis. So that afforded him, by Allah's mercy, to have a window opportunity for Emirates Airline, for example, to invite him, and they engaged him. When they found out that his original language wasn't Arabic and he could speak Arabic, especially in their local lahja or dialect. So you can see how you can break barriers and extend your chances, either professionally or otherwise, especially Islamically. But now I think the focus is on professional, needs. So it's not difficult, but as long as you devote time to it, you learn it and put them into practice as you learn. Barakallah fikum.
Wafikum. Thank you, sir, for the wonderful explanations. Now you have made it clear to us that learning Arabic language is very easy. You just need to learn the theories and apply the theories to the practical situations.
Yes.
It is as simple as that. He is talking from experience. That's what he has as an experience. So the second question we have here is going to Dr. Mrs. Bola Suleiman. Ma, are you with us, Ma?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Ma. Going through all the explanations we have been hearing all along, we get to know that Arabic language, learning it as a second language user, we make it a transcultural one. That is, when we find oneself amidst people of different cultures. So in such a situation, there will be arising some barriers some cultural barriers to learning the language. I hope you also face such a situation when you first arrived in the Arab-speaking countries. So how did you manage to cope with the situations? Thank you, ma.
Okay, thank you, everyone. The question is a very good one and it's an experienced one. Actually, we go straight to my experience that is going to answer the question in a very tactive way. When I got to Sudan for the first time, being in the studentship years, I found myself that I cannot communicate very well, really, and we are there to learn. But your social interactions with people is very, very important. And whenever you have language different from your own language, when you socially interact with people, as just engineer Junaid said, you definitely are going to gain, just as the example he has mentioned before. So I found myself with the HOD of my department was one day very, very happy to say that one day this student of hers came from a country whereby she uses sign languages. That is, whenever they communicate with me, I will complete my speech with just the sign language. But with good instructors, that is, competent ones, whereby they took us along and they gave us good training, we were able to gradually, just as being said by Engineer Junai, that whenever you learn something, that you put it into practice. And it's always very, very easy. In fact, I will say it to those that are presently or wishing to be in the middle belt to work as professional um, as I mean, maybe doctors, engineers, anyone around there to work, that whenever they get to that place and they socially interact with people, they would definitely gain from this language. So trying to be in an environment without limiting yourself, at least we give you the chance of socially and I feel you can understand what I'm trying to say. So it is very, very good to socialize yourself in the area you are. Even within your working area, in the office you are, speak to people, try to speak it out. Then the most important is to learn. When you learn, then you'll be able to practicalize what you have learned. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma. So briefly, uh, she has made it known to us that learning the Arabic language, there is no cultural or social barrier that can impede you totally from learning it once you are devoted and you try to give time to learning the theories and putting them into practical. Thank you, Ma. We understand you. Also, there is a question. It is also being directed to you, Ma. Are you still with us, Ma?
Yes.
So the questioner says, Jazakumullah khaira. Uh, As you made it known to us now that you are still a student at Mīrathul Ummah Academy, learning the Arabic language. And we know that you're also a professional. Aside that, you also have some duties uh, as a woman. You know, there are several roles for a woman to. So all these things, how do you manage to combine them all together with learning the
Thank you very much, the coordinator. The question is also self-answering, and actually, to the point mentioned, that how will a woman cope up with the professional work and the tasks ahead. I would rather say I'm very, very grateful to Almighty Allah for blessing me and giving me the chance to be one of the students of Mīrathul Ummah. The first and the foremost is after prayer, and it is determination. Determination. When you have determination to do something, no matter what the obstacles might be, you are going to go through it. You try your best. I'm a mother of 6 actually, and with some of them grown-up kids. I try my best to figure out what is needed to train a child. And in the globalization of this language, rightly around the world, I know that any conscious Muslim is going to have the determination for this language, because our children, they are the pairs of our life, and we have to handle them in the best way that Islam is teaching us to do for them. And one of the things you can do for your children is to give them Islamic education by letting them to know the importance of memorization of the Holy Quran and learning this language itself. And I would rather say that it is something that you show by practice. When you know something, then you say to your children that I would like you to do this. They will take it easily from you because they find you in the same pace. So I find myself, and I find it that it is compulsory for me, and it is important to me to put myself in a learning mode, so that my children will see me learning as well. And the most important thing is to give them the good of bringing around their deen. So whereby Quran and Arabic language, including their secular education, is carrying along. So as a mother, I find it very, 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 very compulsory for me to learn anything at all. But I make Arabic language as something important because I know it has a lot to do with memorization of Holy Quran, understanding of Holy Quran, and this is one of the steps that help me in my own. I'm very grateful to Almighty Allah for that. So as a woman, I think it's very, very important to have the determination that you want to bring your children, you want to bring them up in Islamic, that is, you want to give them good Islamic upbringing, which centralize around what we are discussing today in our webinar. So I would like to appeal to all mothers, especially the devoted ones, and I wish everyone is going to put themselves on that stage, that they should be devoted to the upbringing of Muslims generations, because we need this around now, because we can see, all of us, you can see what is going on in the world. So we have to belt up in their training. There are a lot around. So this is what I can explain, and I'm very grateful that Allah is getting me through that on the training of the children. Thank you very much.
Kima, Jazakumullah khairan for the wonderful explanations. Because when one is a mother, a professional, one can still cope with learning the Arabic language, and you have given us your as a model in that as an aspect, being a mother as well as professional, then a student of Arabic language. Thank you, Mark. May you continue to be successful in your endeavors. But there is a question
I
that
mean,
popped up in my own mind. So as you were explaining the point now, the thing is pivotal to the religion of Islam. Now my question is, for somebody who is not a Muslim, is there any importance for him or her to learn the Arabic language? Or will it be more difficult for such a person compared to a Muslim? Uh,
now,
I would prefer the question be, by Engineer Junaid. Thank you,
now,
sir.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Yes, the question is funny, but it's also relevant. For your information, as informed by the professor, we know some non-Muslim countries also speak Arabic. Okay, even though they are very, very few in number. But for anyone who is not a Muslim, we have them in the professional field. When they know there is a piece of cake anywhere, people go and get it, irrespective of whoever they are. So if you who is a Muslim is, is not jumping at the cake that is just in front of you, some non-Muslim will be there to take it up. Okay, but to answer the question, it may be challenging for a non-Muslim to learn, especially if he's not, of course, an original speaker, because most of them do that by academic learning, like anybody. I've seen a professor of Arabic who is not a Muslim. Okay, and in fact, he became the HOD of the department because he was so profound in the language. So you can imagine that. And that itself speaks, millions and answers the question. So for anybody, Muslims or non-Muslim alike, the best way is to immerse yourself, take a deep dive into the bottom, to devote time to learning and devote time to practicing or speaking, and devote time to connect or relate with local speakers or any environment where you find yourself with people who are Arabs or local speakers. So this is my brief answer to that. Barakallahu fikum.
Thank you, sir. Jazakumullah khairan.
Oh, yeah.
The next question we have here is now. This question is being directed to Dr. Mrs. Bola Sulaiman. Ma, are we together, ma? Assalamu alaikum, ma. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, I'm around you.
Okay, ma. Thank you, ma. The question is,
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
So, considering the fact that you have lived in Arab countries for several years, more than a decade, so this means you would have been having effective communication between you and Arabs. So now the question is it possible, we are indirectly asking you if you are native like in your speaking of Arabic language, or if it is possible for a non-native speaker of Arabic to be so fluent to the extent of being like a native speaker. Thank you, man.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Actually, the question is, I don't know how to put it. What you mean is to explain if it is just easy to just be like native speakers of Arabic language. Is that?
Yes, ma. Is it possible or easy?
All right. It is possible, really. It is possible, and it depends on your strength and the far you go with the learning of the Arabic language, and the more you practice it, which is the conversation with the language. Alhamdulillah, كنت طالبا في أرض السودان الحبيب والشقيق، وربنا يعني يحفظ جميع أهل السودان. وكنا طالبة يعني حياة الطلبة حياة بأمثال يعني مسكين، لا نعلم أحد ولا نعرف شيئا عن البلاد التي نحن نعيش فيها، والحمد لله أخذونا مثل أولادهم ومثل أطفالهم، ودرسونا بطريقة يعني ممتعة جدا، يعني جمع بين التدريس والحب، فكأننا في بلادنا. والحمد لله يعني من أول السنة الذي أدرس في السودان قبل دراسة الطب، كانت هنالك قاعدة يعطينا العميدة الكلية اللغة العربية بجامعة أم درمان الإسلامية في خرطوم في أم درمان. هي تقول دائما لنا: لا تخافوا، تحدثوا في داخلية في سكنكم، تحدثوا مع الناس، يعني أقرأوا اللوحات في الشوارع، استمعي إلى المحاضرات، استمعي إلى التلفاز، إلى الأخبار وتتحدث، لا تخاف. وشيئا يعجبني جدا يعني في مجتمع أهل السودان أنهم يعني لا يستهزئون من الأجنبي الذي يتحدث بلغتهم. يعني for you to understand what I'm trying to say at this very point, they don't make jest of anyone speaking Arabic language. These are what I observe in the people of my Sudan. Usually, we know sometimes, which I've experienced a lot being on the secondary school stages in Nigeria, before I went over to Sudan on scholarship for my studies. Whenever you speak wrongly in the environment of English-speaking environment, you are being made jest of. It usually happens in our country. Even sometimes make some students to be very low in conversation. Maybe they don't want them to laugh at them. They don't want this or that. But I found it differently when I got to Sudan. People of Sudan, they don't make jest of you, even if you commit grammatical error while you're speaking. So هذا جعل فؤومة اللغة بطريقة ممتعة جدا. يعني whether you like it or not, just jump and throw yourself up and down from here to here on the language, you still continue. So that makes us to learn faster, because I studied Arabic language within 1 year, the first year I got there, and I'm still a student of Arabic language in the Mīrathul Ummah, alhamdulillah. May Almighty Allah preserve the life of the director. He did a lot for us, and I think almost all my audience around now, they are going to they must have gained something from this webinar, to know that the importance of this language, to push them to the world, for them to face it. The opportunity is very wide, and there is هنالك نقطة مهمة جدا. There's an important happening that I have experienced in Sudan, and it really makes me to cheer, because one day I have learned maybe for a few months Arabic language. I left my country, which is my native country, Nigeria, to over that place without knowing anything about Arabic speaking. I can only say Ismi Medina. Other than that, that is all. I don't know. Alhamdulillah, كنا نقرأ القرآن باللغة العربية الحمد لله وبقراءة سليمة من صغرنا في نيجيريا، ولكن لا نعرف الفؤومة، يعني لا نعرف المعاني القرآن. أول في حياتي لما بكيت، كنت في سكن الطالبات وأصبحت أقرأ سورة الأعلى، فكأني ربي يحدثني بالمعنى القرآن. I felt very happy. كنت مسرورة جدا، يعني كنت مسرورة جدا أنني أصبحت أقرأ القرآن وأفهم ما يقول ربي، حتى لو لم أفتح كتاب التفسير، والحمد لله رب العالمين. بهذه it is a good experience. كانت الشعور راعية جدا، يعني أنني خرجت إلى دولة العربية وتعلمت وتعدست، وما في فرق بيني وبين يعني بين أهل السودان. حتى ما في فرق يعني كثيرا، يعني حتى هم يعتبرون.
بارك الله فيكم.
حياكم الله.
We would prefer if you can continue with English, because of the audience, so as to carry the others.
Okay, I'm very sorry, my dear audience, and from the request, actually, I jumped into that language, and I was trying to let you know that it is possible. It is possible for you to become a fluent Arabic speaker. Arabic speaker. So it is very, 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 very easy. Just as the engineer said, that you learn, and actually I will add to that you learn from the real source. You know, when you learn from the real source, such as Mīrathul Ummah and other institutes that they are giving those teachings, they are going to give you the best way to understand this language in the very quickest time and in the short period of time. So I really admire the way they put the webinar to open the eyes of many that this language is not a difficult language, and is globalized, even to the I would say to the Western world. They know that this language is important, and take those that speak it, they take them very important. So, and Professor Ibrahim Taufik, may Allah preserve him, he has as well explained for us the prosper and the opportunities awaiting those who speak or try their best to learn this language and speak it. So it is very, very easy, and you can become a good speaker in this language when you try your best to learn it and converse with it. It is very important. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Barakallahu fikum wa jazakumullah khairan. Thank you, Ma. In brief, she has made it known to us that it is possible to speak the Arabic language to a native-like extent. It is possible, and we have seen that in what she has demonstrated to us during the explanation. She found herself more comfortable with the Arabic language while speaking. That's why we requested that she switch to English as a result of the audience. Now, thank you. So far, our presenters have explained many things to us about Arabic language, ranging from the easy the easy nature of learning the Arabic language. Also, it is also easy and simple to cope with Arabic language while still a professional or a mother. Whatever you are doing, you can still learn the Arabic language. They have also made it known to us that Arabic language is not restricted to the religion of Islam. We can need it for several things, among others. So now, to this end, I would like to call on the principal of this academy to give us the closing remark in brief. The person of Sheikh Al-Ustad Adam Hashimi. And may Allah preserve him upon righteousness.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن والاه. We give thanks to Allah the Almighty who has made this webinar possible for us. Likewise, we also want to thank all the presenters, starting from able Professor Taufik, up to the panelists in person of engineer and our mother. who happens to be one of the students of Mīrathul Ummah, we say to you all, Jazakumullah khairan. The the purpose of this webinar, of course, is to create the awareness about the opportunities that the Arabic language has to offer a lot of people. Either being a Muslim or not being a Muslim is actually not a hindrance. So, however, in this academy, we started. It's not so. Let me say about 6 or 7 months ago. And Alhamdulillah, we have been seeing great results from our students. Likewise, from the people who are watching and observing from outside as well. Now, the intention for having something of this nature is because there are a lot of people who wish to learn the language for so many purposes, of course, but majorly because of their religion, those who are Muslims, and for one reason or the other, they were not able to learn the language because of maybe the distance, because of time, because of this, because of that. And Alhamdulillah, as Allah will have it, this this time, I mean, in this era, we have the internet, we have the distance learning and all that. So there is no longer any excuse for anybody not to know as much as possible about this language, and that is why the Mīrathul Ummah Academy has come in at the right time to respond and to save um, the scene so as to enable a lot of people to benefit from Arabic language in order to attend to various their various needs. The Mīrathul Ummah Academy has a lot of programs, and we are still coming up with so many other programs. Our major programs, or let me say the one of the programs we run in the academy is we run um, a full-fledged online madrasa. And Alhamdulillah, the madrasa is recognized by the Ministry of Education here in Nigeria. They assessed us and they have certified us. So as a result of that, anybody who completes the learning at this academy is entitled to the certificate of Thanawiyah, which can, inshallah, which will enable such a person to enroll into any other institution he or she likes. So we have different levels at this madrasa. We have ibtidaiya, i'dadiyya, and thanawiyya. Currently, we are at awal athanawi, which is equivalent to senior secondary uh, one. And as the name implies, Mirathul Ummah, that is the Ummah's heritage. We tried our possible best to take the Arabic learning knowledge back into the olden curriculum being set by our predecessors, whereby the students are trained on a very conk and a very strong background of Arabic language, which will enable them by the time they get to Awal I'dadi or Thani I'dadi, inshallah, they will be able to write and communicate and even receive lectures in Arabic language. Currently, as we speak, in the Awal Athanawi, we only communicate with Arabic, with zero or no English at all. We only communicate the lessons into we pass the lessons to our students in only Arabic language, and Alhamdulillah, they are all responding very fine. So, and at the same time, we have a tahfidh program where we run tahfidh classes for the applicants. And the unique thing about the Mirathul Ummah Tahfidh program is that it does not only confine itself into only Quran memorization alone, because we have discovered that a lot of people are memorizing Quran nowadays, but the teachings and the learnings of Quran are not reflecting in them. As a result of that, we deem it fit that alongside learning the Arabic, alongside memorizing the Quran, there is need for the students to learn the etiquettes of the Quran, the lessons of the Quran, and a lot of other things that has to do with Quran. And as a result of that, we have Ulum al-Quran, where the students will learn the basic knowledge about how everything that has to do with Quran, in terms of the places of revelations of the Quran, in terms of the number of verses of the Quran, in terms of the ayatul ahkam and all other things. And also we have the learning of the rules of at-tajweed, all in this tahfidh package. And last but not the least, we have ASP, which this webinar is coming up to sensitize the people on. So the ASP program, as the name implies, Arabic for specific purposes, which means anybody who find him or herself in any field of profession, in any field of profession, be it a nurse, um, a doctor, an engineer, and what have you. Inshallah, the program is designed to attend to their basic needs to communicate with their customers and with the people they are attending to. So, and that is why this program is designed into three basic levels. The first level is beginners level, and at this level, we design a program whereby the applicants or the students at this level will learn the basic about Arabic language in terms of speaking, in terms of reading, and in terms of listening. Then the second level of this is the intermediate level, whereby the those who have passed the first stage of the program will advance into this stage, to whereby they will be taken through the terminologies of their professions in Arabic language. And of course, the last one is advanced class. And in advanced class, or as the name implies, they will go into an advanced level of interacting and communicating with Arabic language, and with a lot of terminologies and a lot of words that have to do with their field. And basically, those are the programs we have at hand presently, but there are still a lot more to come. And of course, we have and so many other programs, which at the time will not permit me to go into all of them. We have free courses, of course, that will be launched very soon, inshallah, whereby it will be a benefit for the larger audience, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And the program, inshallah, will be launched next month, and everybody is welcome into that program as well. Also, we have a weekly or monthly public lecture on so many topics, ranging from the etiquettes of the knowledge, or etiquette of students of knowledge, and so many other programs that will be coming your way. So we ask Allah the Almighty to bless each and every one of us. We also ask Allah the Almighty to bless the Academy. We ask Allah the Almighty to bless our guest speakers. We also ask Allah the Almighty to bless the panels and the members of the management, the director, the VP, our IT handlers, and the publicity personnel, and everybody and all the tutors of the Mīrathul Ummah. And we ask Allah the Almighty to make this as an hujjah for us in this life and in the hereafter. إنه ولي ذلك والقادر عليه. وصلى الله وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. جزاكم الله خيرا وأحسن الله إليكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
رباك ربك جل من رباك.
Mīrathul Ummah Online Academy is a new online madrasa aiming to bring full-fledged O-level education in Arabic and Islamic sciences to the doorsteps of all Muslims across the globe. The school is registered and aims to run 3 academic programs. 1. 15-month Ibtidai program, Key subjects to be offered are Qira'ah, Kitaba, Arabiya, Quran, Adhkar, and Islamic morals. 2. 30-month Idadi program. Subjects to be offered are Tawheed, Quran, Hadith, Fiqh, Nahu, Sarf, Nusus, Arabiya, Mahfudha, Islamic morals, and many more. 3. 30-month Thanawi program. Subjects to be offered are Tawheed, Quran, Hadith, Fiqh, Science of Hadith, Usul al-Fiqh, Nahu, Sarf, Balagha, Nusus, Adab, and many more. Students are entitled to 6 hours of live classes a week, and 10 students are to be placed in each class. The Academy is holding a free webinar on the 22nd and 23rd of January 2022.
Mīrathul Ummah Online Institute of Arabic and Islamic Sciences. Admission, admission, admission. Their institute is a certified online Arabic and Islamic science school designed to train interested candidates through Ibtidaiya, Idadiyya, and Thanawiyya levels of Islamic civilization, consideration of sound creed and Islamic morals and teachings, and finally conducive learning method. The institute is structured to meet up with the challenges of the 21st century in learning Islamic civilization. The flexibility of the curriculum, the accuracy and suitability of the syllabus with the sunnah of the beloved Prophet. Ibtidaiya 12 months, Idadiyya 24 months, and Thanawiyya of 24 months are our programs. For further inquiries, contact the following.